Hi, my name is Emma Chandler, and today I'll be talking about the sound within the Harry Potter movies. Start with one of my absolute favorite sound choices from the movies, and that is from the first movie to the last movie, how the sound designer completely wraps up the entire series and just brings back all of the feelings you had when you watched the first movie and finished it for the first time, and just takes it to the end of the 8th movie, which is the second part of the 7th of the Deathly Hallows. So we're going to watch this scene real quick. So that scene is one of my absolute favorites of the entire series. It is the end of the Sorcerer's Stone. You watch Harry ride away from Hogwarts with his friends for the first time. You watch Hagrid watch him drive away in the train. Hagrid sees the kids as his own, more or less, and I think that that's a really powerful moment, especially for people who have read the books. The movie just brings together the end of this movie so beautifully, and the sound just gives you the feelings of happiness and hope. And in the same way, we're going to watch this, the second part, the last part of the last movie. These that you see on screen right now are Harry, Hermione, Ron, and Ginny's children. Harry, Hermione, and Ron are the Golden Trio, and so they are the three main characters throughout the entire series. And so this is the very last scene that you see within the series as a whole. In the same way that the end of the first movie and the end of the Sorcerer's Stone, how that music just pulled everything together, made you feel happy about Harry finding a home in Hogwarts, made you happy about him finding friends. This music does the same thing at the end, and especially for diehard Harry Potter fans, this music was a good closure as well as a sense of nostalgia from the first movie. Watching Harry's kids ride off to Hogwarts the first time, it's a similar scene as the Hogwarts Express is in it. I just think that this music lends a sense of nostalgia and a huge, overwhelming rush of happiness to people who watch it and who have watched all the way through. To see Harry so little at 11 years old in the first scene here, to see him looking back at Hogwarts, if I can find it, there he is. Looking back at Hogwarts, saying he's not really going home because Hogwarts is his home, to seeing them grown up, the four of them, I guess, grown up with their own kids, watching their own kids go to find a home at Hogwarts. I think that was an incredible use of sound to just bring the nostalgia back and bring back the happiness of the Harry Potter series after things have gotten so dark in the last few movies. Another thing of sound that I want to talk about is the first time that Harry hears the basilisk. So just pay attention here to the sound that happens on screen. We'll only watch a little bit of it. this scene, Harry hears the basilisk, which is a very large snake. This is before Harry knows that he can speak Parseltongue, which is snake language. And the sound is seemingly asynchronous, meaning it's not shown on screen, which makes sense because Harry is hearing it, it seems, from everywhere around him, which goes to the perspective of the sound, which seems to be all around the audience as well. Sometimes it's close to the camera, sometimes it seems farther away. As Harry gets closer to the wall, it seems as if the sound is right there. And that is because you find out later that the basilisk is using the piping in the walls to make his way around Hogwarts, which I think is a really cool use of sound, because when you don't know what's happening, you wonder where the sound is coming from. But when you have seen it before and you know where the basilisk is, you know that he is indeed in the walls. And the camera is showing us right where the basilisk is, but the sound is making it, without actually seeing the basilisk, the sound is also giving us that perspective. The thing that I think about this scene is that the basilisk is speaking Parseltongue, but because Harry can understand Parseltongue, he hears it in English in order for the audience to understand it. I think that is a really awesome way to show the sound from the basilisk, because he still sounds spooky, he still sounds a little more hoarse and like something evil and sinister, but it's in English so the audience has the ability to understand it. The scene also has to do with snakes, and this is a way for you to see what other people hear when they hear people speaking snake language, which is a really weird sensation to me to think that as the audience we hear both perspectives, but I think that's a cool sound technique in order to allow us to see why other people fear Harry when he speaks Parseltongue, rather than when he is listening to it himself. So just watch this real quick. So you learn in a few minutes within the movie that Harry has no idea that he's speaking this other language, but the audience is hearing it from the same perspective that all of the students in the Great Hall currently are. And they hear this other language, they don't know what Harry's saying, and that's a really cool sound technique as well, which is a screenwriting thing as well, that it shows us both perspectives of the sound, both what Harry hears when he hears the Parseltongue versus what everybody else hears when they hear him speaking Parseltongue. Finally, the last piece of sound that I want to talk about is the sound that goes from seemingly non-diegetic to diegetic sound, and I think that it's a really cool transition, so we'll just watch here. So I think that using the sound from the Great Hall of a choir singing in the scene before, that looks as if it's non-diegetic, as background orchestral, background choral music, and then cutting to the Great Hall and seeing that it is a group of kids singing choral music with their frogs, nonetheless, is just a really cool transition, and one of the many amazing things that the sound designer and screen director chose to do for this movie, which is my favorite of the Harry Potters. This is The Prisoner of Azkaban. So I just thought that that was a cool transition. So that is my not-so-short commentary on the sound in Harry Potter. I could talk about it for days and days, but I thought that those were some of the best examples of the very awesome sound design within the Harry Potter world. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.